UFC 245, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas this Sunday, New Zealand time, 13-fight card, and as we do on a weekly basis, Dan Hooker joins us. T-Mobile Arena, you've fought there. It's an ice hockey stadium, it's a basketball stadium, it's an everything stadium. What's it like as a UFC venue?
Yeah, I fought there a couple of times. It's real good, brand new. Was it the MGM? I went and watched as a fan of the MGM Grand, and the Vegas crowd's weird though. They only come in for like the last 3 or 4 fights. Like I was looking around because I was there as a fan, and one of my teammates was like the first early prelim of the night. So we got there for that fight, and then no one was there. There was like 10 people in the whole arena, the whole MGM Grand who were there. Then it slowly picked up, but then I was looking around. We got to the main card, it's still empty, and I was going, oh, maybe tickets didn't sell or something. Got to the co-main event, boom, people just like got the message. They flooded in, and it was packed. Yeah, that was for the Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit. They had like an incredible war.
Ticket prices aren't cheap in Vegas either.
Oh, but it's just Vegas crowd. They go to whatever show is on.
Yeah.
Like I had like the most casual people of my life sitting in front of me. It's like Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit just going at it, having one of the greatest UFC fights of all time. And it was like the 4th round. They're just like going to war. This lady like she's sitting in front of me, turns to her friend. She's like, when are they going to do something? I was going, what? Oh, my head almost exploded. Like, I was like, this is the greatest, this is as good as it gets. I was like, do you want to throw knives over the top and kill each other? That's the only thing they could possibly do more.
All right, let's work our way through this big old card. Starting off with, I love these names, Soriano against Bachata.
Yeah, bang on.
Phew. 1 from 1.
1 from 1. Yeah, very close fight. I've got Soriano. She's a Contender Series vet, coming off her first decision victory. Previously, she hadn't gone to the judges. She'd finished all of her opponents. Bachota's on the heels of 2 submission losses. So she lost the last 2 via submission. It's really a pick 'em fight, and I'm going to side with the momentum of Soriano.
Then we've got Jessica I. We've talked about her before, I think, against Viviane Araujo.
Yeah, she fought Shevchenko for the title. Got like head kick knockout quite badly. She's coming off that fight. That was her last fight, and there's not much going for I in this fight. Araujo has some very sound defensive wrestling, and that forces it into a striking matchup, and she just has the technique and power advantage. I'm going to Araujo decision.
Decision, fight number 3 sees Brandon Moreno against... No, we're going to save that one.
Saving it?
We're saving that one. We're saving that one to last because it should be like in the main
I've got some very detailed notes that says, we'll save it.
We'll save it. Okay. We'll skip Kai Kara Francis' fight for a bit later on in the chat. Daniel Tameer against Chase Hooper, 8-0. Chase Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper, he's nasty on the ground, but he has terrible striking and very limited offensive wrestling. But, mate, honesty is the best policy, all right? Tameer knocks his block off pretty early on. I got Tameer via KO.
Wow.
Short and sharp to the point.
I like that. Decisive. Matt Brown, Ben Saunders, know their names. Don't know much about them. They ranked 67 and 78 in the world.
Yeah, well, Brown's coming off. Well, I trained with Matt Brown in Denver before. He actually retired after his last fight. He knocked out Diego Sanchez with a big elbow, and then that was his retirement fight. He came out of retirement, was supposed to fight Carlos Condit. That fight fell through. Saunders has been active, but he's been like actively getting beat. I think he's like 1-5 in his last 6. Not very well, and he's been put to sleep a lot. And Brown is really a bit of a knockout artist. So I'm going Brown via KO.
Brown by KO. Bang, bang. Ian Heinisch against Omari Akhmedov.
Yeah. I've trained with Akhmedov years ago, probably 2012 in Tiger, when he was just making his debut in the UFC. Following him for a long time. Akhmedov has had some cardio issues. He likes a slow, controlled pace. He is very good, but he likes it at a very slow pace. When fights get pushed at a higher pace, he doesn't do so well. He gasses out, and Heinisch pushes a ferocious pace. This guy's incredible. I've got Heinisch to survive the early onslaught and then grind it out and take the decision.
Then we've got Caitlyn Vieira against Irene Aldana. 10-0, Caitlyn Vieira. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. She's 4-0 in the UFC. This is her first fight back, though, in 21 months. She's been sidelined with injury. She's a weapon on the ground, but she has very underdeveloped striking. So unless she's made some huge improvements, this is going to be a problem for her because Aldana has a over 90% takedown defense. Wow. She has by far the better striking of the two. So with the 90% takedown defense, I've got to say that her wrestling looks like it'll hold up and she'll force the striking fight. And I've got Aldana by decision, handing Vieira her first loss.
He's an underdog, people. Aldana is the underdog, 235. Mike Perry against Jeff Neal. A couple of Americans going at it. Very closely ranked together, these two. But Jeff Neal's quite a warm favourite.
Yep. I've got Jeff Neal as a favourite in this fight as well. Perry's going to have all kinds of problems staying at the end of Neal's range. And Neal is the more versatile striker of the two fighters. And Neal just beat a very similar guy in Nico Price, who's like a brawler, likes to come forward, push a hard pace, heavy-handed, and he picked him apart and knocked him out fairly easily. And so it's hard to pick against a guy who just beat someone of the similar style in his last fight. So I'm going Neal via decision.
Decision, all right. Petr Yan against a guy that's been fighting forever, Uriah Faber.
Forever, yeah. Well, he was retired and then came out. Fought a young contender in his last fight, I believe it was Ricky Simone, and beat him. But Petr Yan is a different breed of animal. This is a guy that I've seen in the gym for a very long time. He's been training at Tiger Muay Thai since I first started going back there, and he's been a phenom. He's been killing it in Russia. Got out of his contract in Russia, signed to the UFC. Now he's undefeated, and he hasn't really looked like he's been in much trouble. Too young, too versatile, too good at wrestling, too good at striking. He beats Faber black and blue everywhere. I would say Faber's tough, and he's always comes in with good cardio. So I think he lasts the distance because it's a 3-round fight. I think if it's a 5-rounder, Yan would stop him. But because of the 3 rounds, Faber only really has a guillotine that could stop him. And I don't think Yan will get caught with something that silly.
So we'll go Yan decision. Jose Aldo, a bit of a veteran of the game, takes on Marlon Moraes, number 2 and number 18 in the world. And hard to believe Jose Aldo's dropped to 18.
He was 18 at featherweight, I think. So he's not. This is his first fight down at bantamweight.
Bantam.
So on paper, this doesn't look like a bad fight, but if you've seen Aldo fight week, or if you've seen the kind of shape he's in, dropping down, like he used to be a massive featherweight. He used to have weight cut problems getting to featherweight. Now all of a sudden he's saying it's easy, but his camp all week, no one's saying his weight. Everyone's kind of avoiding the question. He looks like absolute shite. Like he looks like a skull. He looks like skin and bones. I feel like Moraes has too much power. The weight was too much. I believe it was a silly decision, and he's going to get himself knocked out.
Okay, KO there. Now we're going to bring in the Kai Kara France fight.
Bring it back.
Taking on Brandon Moreno. Big fight for Kai.
Yeah, well, my notes did just have don't blink via KO, so it wasn't all that technical. But Brandon Moreno, he is good grappler, good submission guy, very dangerous on the ground. Has okay wrestling, but Kai has the definite striking advantage. And just the way Kai in the UFC, how his wrestling has held up, how he's been able to scramble when he has been taken down back to his feet. I don't have Moreno with much chance in this one. I think it's kind of up to Moreno. If he really forces it and comes and pressures Kai, he's going to get himself knocked out. And if he gets a bit tentative, I think Moreno will. He's a Mexican guy. He's a strong-willed fighter. I feel like he gets himself knocked out in this fight.
Then we go into the first of the title fights. Amanda Nunes, amazing striker. Feel sorry for Jermaine Durandamy. I'm a bit of a fan of Amanda Nunes.
You're a bit of an Amanda Nunes fan?
Yeah.
I have this fight as a pick'em. Wow. I think it's close. Jermaine is a 46-0 kickboxer. She's knocked out a lot of people. I just watched a video just before this when she fought a man and knocked a man out. She's very dangerous, but the side of it is she's not a brawler, power puncher like a Chris Cyborg. She's a technician. I would rather than Chris Cyborg, I would liken her more to like a Valentina Shevchenko, like a bigger, longer Valentina Shevchenko, which Amanda Nunes struggled with. She struggled with someone that was that composed and that patient. When she had Cyborg, who's like another brawler, they're just going to come forward and out-brawl each other, which is kind of what happened. But I have this fight as a pick. I think it's super hard to pick. But then looking at the lines and what's Jermaine's paying $350.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to side with Jermaine in this one. If she's paying that much for what I believe
if it's a coin flip, you take the big price.
If it's a coin flip, I'll take the big prize every time. I think she has the power, enough power to stop Amanda walking her down, which she did to Holly Holm. Holly Holm is the same, comes in and out of range, moves a lot, is very hard to cut off, but she doesn't have the power to get anyone to back off or show her enough respect. Jermaine definitely does. I feel like she just picks her apart with the jab from range, keeps her on the outside all night, and cruises to a decision.
Nice. Massive fight. Maxi Holloway, bit of a legend in the UFC, and takes on Alexander Volkanovski, who's done a lot with CKB, City Kickboxing. So you've seen a lot of him. He just looks like a unit.
Yeah, he's a special kind of freak. Like he was, he was a front rower playing rugby league, and now he's transitioned over to MMA. He had his first fight at middleweight, and then he went to welterweight, and then lightweight, and then finally made his way down to like his natural weight class. And like he says, you put him up against featherweights when he's used to tackling 120 kg guys running full force at him. Like he's just says they're tiny, and he's definitely the strongest featherweight I've ever trained with for my life. Like he's incredibly strong, incredibly fit. Been looking very good in the gym. He's been in the gym the last 4 or 5 weeks with us and the team at City Kickboxing. So you have to look at styles and the way like Holloway fights. His volume stays in your face, like pressure. I have never seen anyone walk Volkanovski down. I've seen his entire career. I've never seen anyone walk that man down. Too much power. Will shoot takedowns for 5 rounds and has too much pace. I feel like he kind of wears Holloway down and gets a stoppage in either the 4th or 5th round.
Championship rounds. It'd be a big result for CKB.
Be a big result for the gym, big result for this part of the world to bring another belt back.
And then the main event, Kamaru Usman against... I try and respect this guy. I try and respect his fighting ability, but his mouth lets him down. Colby Covington, 5-rounder for Colby Covington. His biggest fight by miles, and a fight that you wouldn't have thought he would have had a year ago.
No, so both of these guys are they come in incredible shape. They definitely can both go 5 rounds and have done a very high-paced 5-round fight in the past. What happens when you match 2 guys with very similar skill sets, very similar experience, very similar skill sets? They both like to pressure guys against the cage, wrestle them there, get on top, and do enough to keep the guy on the ground. And they'll repeat that for 5 rounds until they come out victorious. But what's going to happen when two guys with exactly the same skill set kind of match up, they cancel each other's skills out. You know, if neither of them is be able to get the takedown, neither of them is going to be able to push him against the cage, then what do we get? We force a striking match between two wrestlers. And in a striking match between these two, I have Kamaru Usman with the power advantage, with the technical striking advantage, and I feel like he picks Colby apart on the feet. I don't think he has the KO power, and he won't want to close the distance too much to kind of give up any kind of dominant position. But I think Kamaru can keep him on the outside for 5 rounds and picks him apart and wins a 5-round striking fight with Colby Covington.
Right, Usman by decision. And quickly before we go, Dan, we're, about 3 months away from your date with Destiny at Spark Arena.
Date with Destiny, yeah, just down the road. It's nothing really to me. I could do it tomorrow.
Yeah?
I could do it today. How about that?
But something you're really looking forward to in front of your home, a big audience. The first time you fought in front of a big audience in New Zealand?
Well,
they were big.
They were both. I fought on both UFC Auckland cards, and the first one was sold out. The second one was damn near close to capacity. So I felt that.
But you're
crowd,
headline, big dog.
Headlining, yeah. No, it's going to be. It couldn't get any louder. The last 2 times I fought in there, so I'm expecting something special. I'm expecting the fans to really put it on. Got to go out there and get it, man. Got to go out there and prove it and give everyone kind of the cherry on top of bringing the UFC back to New Zealand.
Get your tickets, people. I've heard 90% sold already. 9,000 of the 10,000 are sold, so get involved. Go well, Dan. Enjoy your next few months. I know you won't enjoy Christmas too much because you got to...
Mate, I'll enjoy it all right.
Okay. That's the happy hooker. Thanks, mate.